Christ the Lord is risen today. Sing the Alleluias with me. Christ the Lord is risen today. Alleluia. Sons of men and angels say, Alleluia. Praise your joys and triumphs high. Alleluia. Sing ye heavens and earth reply. Alleluia.
Happy Easter! It's here. So we're going to start with reading about the resurrection. So this is in Matthew chapter 28, verses 1 through 10. After the Sabbath at dawn on the first day of the week, Mary Magdalene and the other Mary went to look at the tomb. There was a violent earthquake, for an angel of the Lord came down from heaven and going to the tomb, rolled back the stone and sat on it. His appearance was like lightning, his clothes were white as snow. The guards were so afraid of him, they shook and became like dead men. The angel said to the women, "Do not be afraid, for I know you're looking for Jesus, who was crucified. He is not here. He is risen, just as he said. Come and see the place where he lay. Then go quickly and tell his disciples, he is risen from the dead and is going ahead of you into Galilee. There you will see him. Now I've told you." So the women hurried away from the tomb, afraid yet filled with joy, and ran to tell his disciples. Suddenly Jesus met them. "Greetings," he said. They came to him, clasped his feet, and worshipped him. Then Jesus said to them, "Do not be afraid. Go and tell my brothers to go to Galilee, where I will see them." So Easter is here. And so you have an idea. This is what we've talked about leading up to Easter. Jesus washed his disciples' feet. They had a Last Supper together. Jesus prayed. Then on Palm Sunday, Jesus was welcomed into Jerusalem. And then he was crucified. And then we have Easter. He rose. So there's a picture that'll be on the video of the kind of tomb that Jesus was buried in. We don't know for sure which one, but there are tombs like this there. And then, how do we know Jesus rose? It wasn't just the disciples who saw him. And again, on the video, there will be a list of the places in the Bible where it talks about people who saw Jesus. So the disciples did. Mary Magdalene and two other Marys saw him. And when the apostles were together, and several times, but there were 500 people in Galilee who also saw Jesus. And people recognized Jesus because he had been through from Galilee to Jerusalem. He had healed people. He had taught people. So people knew what he looked like. And then even after he rose into heaven, he came and he spoke to Paul and Stephen and John. So even after he went into heaven, there were some people who saw him. We have a lot of things to wonder. How do you think the women felt when they saw the angel at the tomb. There were guards there guarding the tomb. How do you think the guards felt when they saw the angel? And why do you think the angel asked the women to tell the disciples that Jesus had been raised from the dead? So why do you think it's important for us to tell people about Jesus today? Many things to wonder about. The New Testament in our Bible was written by men who saw Jesus after he was raised from the dead. They were eyewitnesses. They believed in Jesus so much, they shared his message throughout the world. They were willing to be beaten and jailed to serve Jesus. And these witnesses soon began to tell others that Jesus is alive. Today's faith word is share. Share means to offer God's blessings to others. So here's another poster. The two women are worshiping Jesus at Easter. He talked to them after he rose. And then you might have the paper for today is making an Easter egg. And I hope you have the share paper to remind us that we need to share the good news. And our Bible verse is Acts 4, verse 32, the first part of it. It says, the community of believers was one in heart and mind. And that's, they all loved Jesus and they all wanted to learn more about him. So, we've got our wonder box here, and there is definitely something in there. And it's an Easter egg. So, I wonder how eggs began to be a tradition at Easter. When we hunt for eggs at Easter, we're like the women in our Bible story who came to the tomb and looked for Jesus. When we find an egg, we experience the joy of finding out that Jesus is alive. So how does your family celebrate Easter? Does your family go to worship at a church on Easter and worship together? Does your family have an Easter egg hunt, or maybe you have one at your church? Does your family have Easter dinner together? Well, there's traditions all around the world that people celebrate Easter. Happy Easter!